I know you can't wait for it, and nor can I. The Champions League final is finally here, seeing Liverpool go up against Real Madrid, and you've probably been scouring the internet for every preview, every match build-up, and every prediction video you can find. Well, here's mine, and perhaps the be-all and end-all of match guides. By the way, nice to meet you. I'm Adrian from Canada, and of course, Rabona TV. A little switch up in how I introduce myself there. If at any point you find that you're enjoying yourself here, then don't be afraid to help us out with a subscription. We got a nice little growing community here. Why don't you join us? All right, let's get to it, talking about some general tournament facts and potential records first. The European Champion Clubs Cup, simply known as the European Cup, was rebranded as the UEFA Champions League in 1992. The European Cup competition was founded in 1955, 63 years ago. In that space of time, there's been 22 different champions, ranging from Red Star Belgrade to Steaua Bucuresti to Nottingham Forest twice, and so on and so forth. Real Madrid is of course the most successful side to ever play in the competition, having won it 12 times. Liverpool, they aren't slouches either, as they've won the competition 5 times themselves. As far as the finals pedigree of each team, Real Madrid have made the finals of the European Cup / Champions League 15 times, losing only on 3 occasions. Liverpool, from 7 appearances in the finals, they've only lost twice. So, neither team could really be classified as finals chokers, unlike Benfica, and of course, Juventus, Atletico Madrid. There's a few others you could add to the pot. If Real Madrid are to win it, they will become the 3rd team to win the European Cup 3 times in a row, behind Ajax and Bayern Munich. Also, Zinedine Zidane would become the first manager to win 3 European Cups in a row. He was, of course, the first to win back-to-back Champions League titles. The rebranding makes records weird. Also, Ronaldo could become the first player to win the Champions League 5 times, having already won it 3 times with Madrid and once with Manchester United. As for Liverpool versus Real Madrid, the last time these two teams met in the Champions League final was in 1981, when Liverpool won 1-0. That was the last time that Madrid had made the final and lost. Since then, they are undefeated in the Champions League finals. How many times have I said finals? Have you been keeping track? Besides finals, there's another one. These two teams were in the same group in the 2014-15 season, in which Real Madrid won both matches. So, how did these two teams find themselves here? Liverpool made easy work of their Champions League group stage, finishing on top of a group which featured Spartak Moskva, Sevilla, and Maribor. In doing so, they set a British record for goals scored in the group stage. In the round of 16, they were drawn against Porto, in which they easily dispatched of the now Portuguese champions with a 5-0 win in Porto and coasted for the second leg to a 0-0 draw. They were handed a much sterner test in the quarters, drawn against impending Premier League champions Manchester City. Liverpool made relatively easy work of their English rivals, winning the first leg 3-0 at Anfield and then finishing the job with a 2-1 win at the Etihad, a massive 5-1 aggregate victory. Fresh off of their historic victory over FC Barcelona, AS Roma were next in line for Liverpool. After going 5-0 up at Anfield, the removal of Mohamed Salah instantly took the threat out of Liverpool, and Roma scored 2 crucial away goals. In Rome, Liverpool found themselves 2-1 up after 25 minutes, but Roma clawed back 3 goals to make for a nervy finish and a 7-6 aggregate victory for Liverpool. Real Madrid were drawn into a group that would have been considered a group of death, if not for Borussia Dortmund's absolute feebleness this season. Real finished in 2nd behind Spurs and were drawn against PSG in the round of 16. Though PSG were missing Neymar for the second leg, Real Madrid's quality and experience in this competition was far too much for them, as Real ended up comfortable 5-2 winners. Champions of France eliminated. Next up, Real Madrid took on the champions of Italy, Juventus, of course, and they ran riot in Turin, winning 3-0, with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring one of the best Champions League goals in recent history, even getting a standing ovation from Juve fans. In the second leg, however, Real Madrid showed signs of weakness without Sergio Ramos in their back line, and a Keylor Navas clanger later, Juve had matched Real Madrid's feat from the first leg, tied 3-3 on aggregate and away goals. If not for a penalty that had opinions split, this would have been the first of the matches to go to extra time, but it was awarded and Cristiano converted, eliminating Juve. Next in line were the champions of Germany, a familiar foe for Real Madrid, having met 24 times prior to this semi-final. Again, on the road, Real Madrid got the job done with a 2-1 win. This was a different sort of victory for Madrid, as they played more defensively, and if Bayern had their boots on the right foot, perhaps they would have finished their chances, but they didn't, Real Madrid did, and they were punished. A similar story in the second leg, as though Bayern managed to nullify Ronaldo across the 2 legs, they made too many mistakes. namely Sven Ulrich's slip, and a 2-2 draw was enough for Real to make the final via a 4-3 aggregate score. Let's stick with Real Madrid for now. If you look at their season as a whole, it hasn't been their most glamorous. An extremely slow start saw them, at one point, closer to the relegation zone than they were to Barcelona in first place. With Cristiano Ronaldo's massive revival and turn in form over the Christmas period and into 2018, Madrid's fortunes improved, yet they still sit in third domestically, 15 points behind their Catalonian rivals. In the Copa del Rey, they were unceremoniously dumped out of the competition back in January by Leganés. That being said, there are some minor similarities to their Champions League winning campaign in the 2015-16 season, where they finished second in the league and were bounced from the Copa del Rey in the round of 32. So despite their struggles domestically in recent history, Real Madrid has put in their best performances within the Champions League. Now, this season, they may not have reached the same levels they did last year within the competition, but they have one of the most invaluable assets: experience. Experience to come from behind. Experience to not panic when things don't go their way. So when you mix that experience with the incredible clinicality, not sure if that's a word, in the finishing department, then you have an extremely tough team to best. The perfect illustration of this is their semi-final matchup where Bayern Munich had attempted 39 shots. That's including misses, blocked shots, etc. Whereas Real had only 16. Whether you progress or not, when it comes down to it, is tied so closely to simply taking your chances. I know that sounds overly obvious, but it's worth noting, as Real's success in the competition is closely tied to this. Liverpool aren't bad at taking their chances either. In fact, they've broken the record for the most goals scored in the Champions League, and they haven't even played the final yet. In their 14 matches, they have scored 46 goals, which is an average of 3.29 goals per game. Since the Champions League began in the 92-93 season, the highest scoring team has been the champion on 13 occasions, so take from that what you will. But before we continue on with some final words on Liverpool in this competition, let's look at their play overall this season. In the Premier League, they managed to finish in 4th place, thus locking down more Champions League football for next season, no matter the result of the final. In the domestic cup competitions, they were bounced from the Carabao Cup in the round of 32 by Leicester, and in the FA Cup, were eliminated by West Brom. Not the greatest of showings in those two competitions. While they did lose Philippe Coutinho, they perhaps gained even more in Virgil van Dijk. You thought I was going to say Salah, didn't you? I'll get to Salah later. Van Dijk has helped to revolutionize Liverpool's previously very suspect defense. And while it isn't the finished product or at the place where Klopp and the fans, for that matter, would probably like their defense to be, it has improved massively. Van Dijk and Lovren have been a solid partnership, while Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson have been great in the fullback positions. And their attack. Of course, Mohamed Salah has gone above and beyond what everyone expected of him at Liverpool. With his 32 goals and 10 assists in the league, he had a hand in 50% of Liverpool's goals scored. And massive respect to Roberto Firmino, who has been integral to this success, if not Liverpool's attack, than Mohamed Salah's, constantly grabbing assists, making runs to draw defenders away, and banging them in himself as well. And that's not even mentioning Sadio Mane, who's had a bit of a downturn in form, but still can be lethal on the day. Now going head to head, let's look at the defense of these two teams. Liverpool's has been almost meme-worthy in the past few years, until recently where it has improved, as I said before. However, they still have a knack for leaking goals one way or another, especially in the latter stages of matches. For this reason, I do worry slightly about Liverpool's capacity to defend against a powerhouse like Real Madrid. Right now, I can say their best way of defending against Madrid is by attacking. If they begin to get consistent pressure on them late in the match with the likes of Ronaldo, Marcelo, Carvajal, Modric, Cruz, Asensio, Bale, and to a lesser degree, Karim Benzema, all buzzing around the box, I get the feeling that their defense could crack. However, that's not to say that this Madrid team has the great defense of the Milan side of the late 80s and early 90s. While Sergio Ramos has proven his pedigree throughout his career with both Madrid and the Spanish national team, and Varane, Marcelo, and Carvajal have been incredible over the years, they have shown some signs of shakiness at times this season when they're forced to sit deep and defend. On the flip side, however, that may just be their tactic against Liverpool. Let them have the ball, let them push forward, and try to punish them on the counter, a hallmark of Real Madrid's successes over the last few years. They will certainly have a tough time against the mercurial attack of Salah, Firmino, and Mane. Certainly one of the toughest attacks to defend against in the world, and the toughest they have come up against in the Champions League so far, as evidenced by their record goal-scoring season, of course. It's going to be an incredibly tight final, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up going to extra time. Liverpool will start quickly, as they always do, with Real Madrid perhaps taking longer to settle into the game. I'm not sure if you watched the video of Zinedine Zidane giving a halftime team talk to his players from the final last season.
Ellos juegan con 4-4-2, con Alves muy alto y Mandzukic muy alto. Lo que tenemos que hacer nosotros es que ellos reculan también.
But it goes to show his tactical acumen, and if things start to go Real Madrid's way in the second half and they maintain some consistent pressure on the Liverpool defense, I think most Liverpool fans would be fearful of that situation and their defense's ability to deal with it. Okay, I guess I have to give a prediction now. Well, both teams have been fun to watch this season for varying reasons. Liverpool with their no-holds-barred attack, while I've been watching Madrid with a curious sort of surely they won't pull it off again, will they? Outlook on their matches. And to be honest with you, I'm going to go with my gut on this one. While the romantic in me would love to see Jurgen Klopp's attractive style of play be awarded with a title, his past failures in European finals, coupled with Liverpool's defense, which shipped 6 goals against Roma, doesn't instill me with a lot of confidence. For that reason, I'm going to go with 2-1 for Real Madrid. But hey, that's just my prediction. What's yours? Be sure to comment below with how you think this final is going to go. And hey, if you're new around here and enjoyed yourself, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. Regardless, I thank you for watching. My name is Adrian, and I hope to see you in the next video. Here's to a great final. Cheersing with water. Good stuff.